Good morning, I'm Wendy Burke, and this is a CBC Morning Report for Friday, July 15th. In our top story, Prime Minister Mia Motley has announced a suite of measures to take effect shortly to ease the cost of living for all, at least for the next 6 months. Speaking in a nationally televised address last evening, Ms. Motley noted the Minister in the Ministry of Finance and Economic Affairs, Ryan Strachan, will deliver a ministerial statement on this initiative on Tuesday from the floor of Parliament. At the top of the list is a reduction of the value-added tax on electricity bills.
The reality is that the government has determined now that every Barbadian household should have the first 250 kilowatt hours removed from their from a VAT rate of 17.5% to a new VAT rate of 7.5%. This is going to represent on average a savings of about $17 to every Barbadian household, regardless of whether you use 250 kilowatt hours or not.
Prime Minister Motley also spoke about a compact with social partners set to be signed tomorrow. Under that arrangement, consumers will see additional savings on approximately 44 items, which will be added to the basket of goods. It includes a selection of meats, sanitary items, canned and dry goods.
We have included breakfast oats, we've included sliced ham, and the VAT, as I said, is being removed from that. We've included Milo. The VAT is to be removed from Milo, and I'm not sure if I mentioned that just now, and also drinking chocolate. We have included also eggs, evaporated milk, baby food milk, 2% milk, New Zealand cheddar cheese, soya bean or sunflower cooking oil, rice, macaroni, long macaroni. They don't have elbows, they have long ones. Eclipse biscuits and soda singles or multi-pack biscuits. Let me be very clear, salt bread for all of the bakers, but only certain bakers will do white sandwich bread and whole wheat bread. Oranges, apples, sardines, tuna, whether in oil or water, sardines whether in oil or water, corned beef, split peas, fresh split peas, pigeon peas, tin and fresh, black-eyed peas, flour, margarine, and this is sunflower margarine and to be specific, black tea, and by black tea we mean the normal Lipton's, Royal Red Rose, etc. tea, unflavored, not the flavored tea, cream of wheat, corn flakes, we didn't say all the other fancy cereals, corn flakes, peanut butter, chow mein, ramen, and the sweetener that we've included in here is honey.
The Prime Minister also announced a $2.5 million school feeding program. Thousands of school-aged children are expected to benefit from the measure.
We therefore intend to ensure that every child of school age in this country will be given an opportunity between the 25th of July and the 2nd of September to continue to benefit from school meals in Barbados. We believe that this is a critical component in ensuring that our school children can have nutritious meals while at the same time relieving the burden from off of our children from being able, from off of the families from being able to move in a position where they do not have to buy additional groceries to ensure that their children can be fed during this period of time.
Now, while this news from the Prime Minister is pleasing to many, we asked a senior economist to look at the impacts of them on the public and on government. Joining us live is Dr. Kevin Greenidge, Senior Economic Advisor to the Prime Minister and Government of Barbados. Good morning to you, Dr. Greenidge.
Good morning, Wendy. Thanks for having me.
Now, how did we arrive at this extended basket of goods in terms of what the 44 items selected are?
Wendy, as Prime Minister indicated, that was done in consultation with the social partnership and also with various stakeholders, farmers in different areas across the island.
Okay. Now, What about the impacts on government revenues? Because VAT has been taken from quite a few things, and that's one of the main ways that government tends to get a good amount of its revenue. So how is it going to impact overall?
So this measure, when the Prime Minister indicated, have 10 million roughly in foregone revenues from a VAT removal reduction rate on electricity, but another 5 million in terms of the removal from the basket of items, the widened basket items, and another two from the feeding program. So we're looking between 15, 20 million. We've always indicated that the way we're implementing economic policy is that it is focused, it is targeted in such a way that we're using the limited fiscal resources you have to impact the widest selection, widest number of persons, particularly those with a vulnerable and lower income of the scale. So it's not that there's zero fiscal space. We always say limited fiscal space. So this is not going to break the bank, break the fiscal in any position, but it's done in a matter that we cover the widest selection, greatest impact, obviously, buying for your buck. What I want to remind you, perhaps indicate in the way in which the fiscal and economic policy is done is that we have a fiscal projection for the entire year. We have an overview of what we expect to get on the revenue side, and a whole envelope of what we are doing on the expenditure side. So overall fiscal position. But month to month, we monitor, we see how much revenues we're getting. We then calibrate that with expenditures. We see what are being done and what's going forward, and we calibrate that and we see what fiscal space we have. And therefore, that is why, given the limited what we have, then the government will say, here's what we can do to assist persons.
Okay, given that you said we're not operating with zero space, we are indeed getting less coming in, but there are projects which government has already started and some which are pending. How will this now impact on those? Or will we see a shoring up of monies for those by a return to the IMF?
No, so this 15 to 20 million is not going to have an impact in terms of changing the expenditure plans that were in place as it relates to projects started or even pending. Like I said, is a efficient use of the what additional space, limited space that became available in the government finances. The decision whether we return to IMF or not is not impacted by this recent policy announcement that the Prime Minister made.
Okay, now let's look at the fuel situation a bit. Was any consideration given perhaps to looking at reducing the amount of road tax being paid at the pump for, say, a set period of time, maybe 3 months, to assist motorists a bit more?
Right, so keep in mind, as I said, Wendy, we're trying to use what limited fiscal space we have to impact the widest cross-section of persons, with a focus on the vulnerable, the poor, those at the lower income spectrum. So even in you saw for the reduction in the VAT rate on electricity, Prime Minister have indicated that that will capture almost most lower income and even lower middle income household, because at least 63% of households are being covered. And when we look at a kind of survey that we got, preliminary survey data we have, it matches mostly areas that are low income households. So again, what I'm saying, the focus is very targeted. Now, if you go and use like the fuel, I'm not saying that it will be ruled out. It depends on space. But if you look at a broader measure like a reduction in the fuel tax, that's going to affect everyone, going to benefit from that equally, and perhaps less so will be those at the lower end of the spectrum. Persons at the lower end spectrum would tend to use less fuel. Most some catch buses, move around. It will affect you and I, who perhaps can afford it better than person at lower income. So the policies, I'm not saying that it won't be considered in the future or it won't be looked at, but right now the policies have to be focused, targeted to those who need help most, and at the same time using any additional resources to grow the economy that all benefit. So in moving on some movement with the fuel tax, even though it will affect everyone, perhaps not best use of resources at this time.
Okay, now this is initially 6 months, but what happens if the situation we're in now persists? Can we look at a possible extension?
Right. So maybe keep it again. I try to keep things simple. Remember, policy, economic policy, we were doing it targeted, focus, using the best, using resources, the resources in the best way. Now, any good economic policy has to have a sunset clause. It has to have a point start and a point and finish. We've learned very well from history, and particularly how we responded to the 2008 crisis, that if you bring things on book that will be recurring, you can find yourself in trouble. So that is why you have a sunset clause. We don't know in 6 months where we will be, but in 6 months, what I know is that the government is committed to reviewing the situation, reviewing the factors impacting the cost of living, fuel prices, commodity prices, reviewing all those factors, and also looking at the fiscal space at that time, because we don't have a crystal ball. I don't know in 6 months what things will look like, but so there's a commitment to review, and then depending on the factors, maybe our prices are low, maybe the war in Ukraine is over and the pressures are no longer there. Maybe we have an amazing fiscal position, much more space. So depending on those factors, then government would then make a decision on what to do at that point in time. 6 months from here is it's soon, but it's pretty sufficiently far away that the impacting factors, I call them, or the situation may change. So you can't now say what you would do then, but what you can say is that we will review it in 6 months.
Okay, I want to thank you so much for joining us, and I'm sure that we'll probably be seeing lots of folks shortly in the supermarkets looking to take advantage of those savings. Thank you so much, Dr. Greenidge.
Thank you, Wendy.
Next on the CBC Morning Report, updates on the pandemic and monkeypox. New COVID-19 cases have risen above 300 for the first time in 2 weeks. Yesterday, the Bastos Santos Public Health Laboratory recorded 311 positive results after conducting 871 tests. Meanwhile, the number of people in isolation facilities was 36, while 1,781 were in home isolation. Guyana's Minister of Health, Dr. Frank Anthony, says the country will soon be able to detect variants of the COVID-19 virus.
Minister Anthony says several health practitioners from the ministry's National Public Health Reference Lab are currently exploring gene sequencing to detect new COVID-19 variants. He says the team received training from Harvard University and is equipped to conduct the task. The minister is confident that by the end of this year, the local team should be able to detect variants through sequencing procedures.
Hopefully with these samples, it will tell us what exactly is circulating currently in Guyana.
Minister Anthony adds that achieving this will improve Guyana's capabilities to monitor the Omicron variants BA4 and BA5, which are very contagious. In the meantime, the health minister continues to urge citizens to protect themselves by updating their vaccination status.
What this is going to do is to help to prime your immune system and prevent you from getting a more severe form of the infection if you get infected.
Trinidad and Tobago's Chief Medical Officer, Dr. Roshan Paras-Ram, is advising residents to take a three-tiered approach when deciding to wear their mask after the mask mandate is lifted on July 17th.
Dr. Paras-Ram says people should consider their level of risk based on the population, the individual, and the site or type of event. As it relates to population, people should keep up to date with the new positive cases, number of deaths, total positive cases, and circulating variants in the country.
Variant of concern is Omicron. We have detected BA1, BA2, BA4, BA5 variants, and they are in circulation at different levels.
While masks will still be required at health institutions, including dental clinics, Dr. Paras-Ram recommended a few areas where masks should still be worn.
Things inclusive of supermarkets, groceries and malls, public transportation hubs, ports of entries, places of worship, for example, cinemas and theaters, spas and beauty salons.
The Pan American Health Organization has called on countries in the Americas to work together to meet the growing demand for COVID-19 vaccines, medicines, and other health equipment. The call from PAHO Director Dr. Carissa Etienne comes as the Omicron variant, BA4 and BA5, drive a new wave of infections in the Americas, and cases of monkeypox continues to rise.
PAHO will coordinate and help develop the moving parts in our region to ensure that we make the most of our existing infrastructure, institutions, and potential to build a system that benefits all the Americas. As we have learned during the COVID-19 pandemic, manufacturing capacity alone is not sufficient to guarantee access. But the history of the region has been able to manage to reach millions more people when we work together. And one example is the revolving fund, a pioneer financing and procurement mechanism that was established 40 years ago to ensure that vaccine approved for use and endorsed by WHO could quickly be made available to all countries in the region.
Time now to preview what's coming up on Morning Barbados, and we say good morning to Pearson Boone. Good morning, Pearson.
Good morning, Wendy. Fantastic Friday morning to you and to everyone else as well. Folks, when you join me at 6:30 this morning for Morning Barbados, we'll talk to you a little bit about At the Seaside. That's an initiative of the St. Michael Northwest District Emergency Organization in association with the Department of Emergency Management and the Coastal Zone Management Unit. Why are they holding that on Sunday? We'll tell you a whole lot more, so don't miss it. Also this morning, Girls Can Move Mountains, rewriting the rules of female entrepreneurship. It's a beautiful story told of a Haitian lass who has decided not to be moved by what people think of her. And so she's written her story in the book, and she will join us in a little bit when you join me for Morning Barbados. And there's a Barbados Select Under-19 cricket team in South Africa. They've reaped success. That success will be shared with us this morning when the coach joins us from afar. All of that and a whole lot more straight ahead at 6:30 for Morning Barbados. Back to you, Wendy.
Good morning. 40 artists are through to the second round of the Students Revolving Loan Scheme Sunshine Snacks People Choice Challenge. Chief Executive Officer of the National Cultural Foundation, Carol Roberts-Reefer, told a media conference at the West Terrace headquarters of the NCF the process was completed on Tuesday and the 40 will each collect $2,000. She gave the names in alphabetical order.
All by Yannick, Amazing by Renan, Anytime by Tariq, Anywhere, Anytime by Sugary, Bashment Park by The Plug, Ben by Kira, Carnival Is by Keisha Christian, Celebrate Life by Richard Antonio, Crop Over We Comin' by Archie Miller, Dibbiness by Rhea Lane, Don't Kill My Vibe by Thelia, Extraordinary by Mr. VJ, Family Affair by Imara, Free by Crystal Cummins Beckles, Freedom at Last by Da Silva, Hand on Head by Swaggy, Hostage by Renee, Judge Me by Kwan, Location by Grateful, Lock It Off by Edwin Yearwood, Low Budget by Cerule, Mobby by Bruce Almighty, Mock by Toyan, Popkite by Faith Calendar, Prison Break by Mr. Dale, Property by Renice Bonnet, PTSD by Akhenaten, Ready by Nikita and Mikey Mercer, Red Gal Anthem by Doyen, Rum and Soca by QSO, RRR by Linksy, Same One by Shaquille, Stage by Ashana, Tease by Freshie, Tip and Benova by Zach the Champ, Tribute to John Deasy by Biggie Irie, We Outside Again by Lady Essence, What You Gotta Do by Mole the Champ, Mole the Chief, who's also a champ, What Them by Amber, and You're Jealous by Lolika.
The NCS CEO said a wide selection of artists to benefit from the competition. Voting for the final round is next.
Voting commences at a minute past midnight on Saturday morning and goes all the way up to midnight on July the 20th. So please, if you've made it through to this round, get all your people together. Remember, one vote per device, and you'll be able to get to vote in from first thing Saturday morning.
And in sports, Barbados swimmers have finished the pool program of CCCAN 2022 in 4th position. After the final session at the Aquatic Center, Barbados were on 487.50 points to be the highest placed Caribbean country. Mexico finished first with 1,821.50, followed by Venezuela with 676, and third, Puerto Rico on 534.50. Mexico won each of the 8 age group categories, with Barbados placing second in the 11 to 12 girls and also 11 to 12 boys. On the final night of competition, Barbadian Amira Harrison captured gold in the girls' 11 to 12 50-meter breaststroke, while Danielle Treasure got silver in the girls' 18 and over 400-meter freestyle. CBC's Sean Green reports.
We start in the dying moment for the girls' 18 and over 400-meter freestyle. This featured Kayla and Danielle Treasure in this race, which was approximately 4.5 minutes long. This is Michelle Ramirez of Honduras gunning for the wall after her 8 laps in 4 minutes 26.9 seconds. Behind her, Daniel Treasure of Barbados in second in 4:28, and Kayla Treasure finished in 8th position. 2 Barbadians start in the girls' 11 to 12 50-meter breaststroke, lanes 5 and 7 in their distinctive yellow and blue caps. That's Amira Harrison in the middle of your screen now, fighting off with Jeffrey of St. Lucia and Zaldivar Martinez of Mexico in the white. Harrison to the front, but can she hold on? I think she can, and she will. Harrison touching the wall first in 38.32. But if you thought the girls' race was hot, then what about the boys? This featured Barbadian Zachary Burke and Tyreek Greenidge, who was actually leading at one stage briefly before Gutierrez Dobring of Mexico stormed to the front, bringing his compatriot Luis Martinez Herrera with him. The Mexicans would touch 1 and 2 in this event, with Jamaican Kai Radford in third and Greenidge fourth. Burke placed 6th. This is the boys' 13 to 14 50-meter breaststroke, featuring Barbadian Joshua Ross, who qualified with the 6th fastest time. He's in lane number 6, third from the right. But the business end of things came in lanes 5 and 4, as the Mexican pair of Rodriguez Mendez and Jose Manuel Roter Molino took over the race, shutting down all comers to win this one. Mendez getting there first in 31.52 seconds. Now to the boys' 15 to 17 50-meter breast, with Bajan swimmer Christopher Pollard in lane number 6. But he too was also up against some stiff competition, especially from the Mexican pair of Nathan Ocha and Mauro Pat Coronado. And here they go, battling between themselves for that goal as the Mexicans continue their dominance. Ocha getting to the wall first in 30.22 seconds. Now to the men 18 and over, Luis Sebastian Weeks is there for Barbados in lane number 7. But that guy in the middle of your screen in the white cap is Josu Dominguez of the Dominican Republic. He was taking no prisoners in this contest. On his right shoulder, Julio Jarrego of Honduras, giving him a run for his money. So too Adriel Sanz of the Virgin Islands, but Josu closed it down in 28.
And next up, let's take a quick look at the weather picture with all that will be happening this weekend. Will it be slippers or sneakers? It's currently 27.1 degrees Celsius, humidity at 81%, and the barometric pressure 1012.7 millibars. The winds are from the east at 39 kilometers per hour. The low tide will be at 11:15 a.m. and another low tide at 11:13 p.m. High tide will be at 5:48 in the evening. The seas should be moderate in open water with swells ranging from 1.5 to 2.5 meters and steady. Small craft operators and sea bathers should exercise caution. Our forecast for today, sunny with cloudy periods and a few brief isolated light to moderate showers. Tonight should be mostly cloudy with clear breaks with the occasional brief scattered light to moderate showers. And here's now a look at our international cities. That's it for today's morning report. It's now time for Pearson Bowen and Morning Barbados.
Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Barbados, get up. Good morning. Good morning, Barbados. Good morning. Good morning to you. Good morning. Morning, morning, morning. Good morning to you. Good morning. Morning, Barbados. Good morning. Good morning to you. Good morning. Morning, Barbados. Good morning. Wake up, wake up, wake up. Morning to you.
Good morning to you and welcome to today. Today is Friday, the 15th of July, 2022. I am Pearson Bowen, welcoming all of you, as I always say, here, there, and everywhere. Thank you so much for joining us on our streams on YouTube and Facebook as well. Grateful always for your interaction. Keep doing it. We absolutely love it. We also absolutely love sharing with you through our unscrambled letters. That's coming up again today. So stand by for your brain to be triggered where that's concerned. Also today we'll continue to introduce you to some of the finalists in tomorrow's Scotiabank Junior Monarch competition. Remember, there are two categories for contests in soca and calypso. And so we'll meet some more of those who will be vying for those crowns. The Barbados Select Under-19 cricket team is in South Africa. They continue to do very, very well. The coach will join us in just a little while. Also this morning, we'll hear the story of a Haitian woman who, as a teenager, migrated to North America, and from there, her life took a positive trajectory. And so she'll tell her story, but she'll also share how girls can still move mountains, rewriting the rules of female entrepreneurship. Her story is one you will definitely want to hear. But let's get started with this initiative by the St. Michael Northwest District Emergency Organization. They're taking us to the seaside. At the seaside is what it's called. And joining us now to talk a little bit more about that, what's happening on Sunday, is Doriel Gill Skinner, who is the chairperson of the St. Michael Northwest District Emergency Organization. With her is Dr. Leo Brewster, who is the director of the Coastal Zone Management Unit. Good morning, both of you.
Good morning.
Morning, Pearson. Morning, Barbados.
Thank you so much for joining us. Doriel, we'll start with you. Tell us a little bit about this initiative at the seaside and why.
Well, we are taking it to the seaside because we've been taking it inland for the past couple months and going through the community at the seaside of the coast, the persons around the seaside, they had a lot of questions as to what is happening with the coast. And those questions I couldn't answer, so I had to call on Dr. Brewster to help me. We have been doing community profiling and we have been gathering persons to assist us as we volunteer throughout Barbados.
The people of St. Michael Northwest, Dr. Brewster, asks the question, what is happening at the coast? I ask it too. What's happening at the coast?
Well, Pearson, several things are going on along the coastline as we've all witnessed, especially over the last couple of months. So what's going to be happening at the meeting is that we're going to be trying to obviously make the community more aware, especially as to the cause for concern for coastal hazards and what to look out for because we're in hurricane season. We're also going to be looking to try to ensure that coastal preparedness is something that we're all ready and to understand and be prepared for, and to also try to look to see how best we can respond in the event of any sort of emergency that can take place within the specific area that we're looking at.
And I think local knowledge is also going to be critical from the Coastal Zone Management Unit to be able to garner, because those who live there know there. Those who have lived there for a little while also know it better than anyone else, and so they can probably guide you as to what are the areas of greatest concern. I'm sure, Doriel, from that perspective, that's why you want the people to come out to engage with the coastal zone management, because as they look at our coastlines being impacted by climate change, for instance, then you're seeing the withering away of the sand, and you wonder, well, hello, what happened? Never seen before in my lifetime. An opportunity for them to get some answers, Doriel.
That's correct. 3 Sundays ago, we were in Pile Bay, and the questions were asked, why is the land vibrating? I thought it was coming from, I am thinking it's coming from the light and power, the unit down there. Persons away from the unit, they're saying it couldn't be because we're not close enough. So again, we need answers to why the land is vibrating. Then at Brighton, we have a resident there. She said she'd been living there for 26 years, and the sea is now her back door.
Those are stories, Dr. Brewster, that cause pause for concern. The land vibrating?
Definitely.
The land vibrating?
Yeah, well, that was news to me too when I was down there. We had never had any reports of that. So we have to try to look to get more information on that sort of situation that is occurring down there. But I also think it's important to recognize that because of the type of area that we're in that whole Brighton, Bats Rock, Pile Bay, Brandon stretch, which is the area of specific emphasis for this meeting, there will be a lot of other things to discuss, especially as it speaks to the type of residential, commercial, industrial activities that are taking place, the issues that are faced also with the climate change concerns that we have, the potential for sea level rise. Obviously, sargassum is impacting on beaches, which is leading to erosion, those sorts of things. So it's going to be a very informative meeting there.
It talks a little bit, I suppose, then about how we as humans also impact what happens at the beach. It's not simply for recreation, but sometimes in also engaging in recreation, we do things unbeknownst to us that also affect the effectiveness of our coastline. Am I reading you correctly?
Well, to some extent, yes. Obviously, the first things that come to mind are things like persons who may try to build too close to the coastline, too close to the active area of the beach that is prone to change when the waves are coming in, especially during storm season when we have high swell events, etc., that can lead to beach erosion. You have situations also whereby if there's certain types of pollution making its way into the marine environment by direct means, as in either water courses or culverts or drains, and people dumping illegally, obviously you're going to get things like what we will call eventually marine litter and marine plastics washing up on the beach. You also have the issue of groundwater pollution. You have the issue of, in this case, the potential for thermal or warm water pollution at the hot pot and what that can do to the nearshore environment, etc. All those would be causes for concern.
So Doriel,
and the need obviously for replanting vegetation to ensure that the beach always remains stable.
So Doriel, there's a lot to talk about, and that's why it's important that all who are part of the St. Michael Northwest District area, you really do come to the event on Sunday. So talk to me a little bit about what time it is and who really you'd like to attract and where should they all congregate.
We want to attract everybody. Because we have some kids, some 17-year-olds, that they come to us and they ask questions as to how they can join and stuff like that. They need to know, they need answers as well, right? On Sunday, we will be at Brandon's, that is next door to Erasco's, and we are there from 4:30 until 5:30.
So at Brandon's is where they'll be 4:30 to 5:30 this coming Sunday, just off the Mighty Grinder Highway, of course. You know that spot really well. At the seaside, an opportunity for you to come and engage with the Coastal Zone Management Unit to hear more and also to learn more about why, but also to share from your own lived experience some of the things that you think can help us to be able to mitigate any further erosion in the area and causes for concern. I want to thank both of you, wish both of you well with this event on Sunday. Folks, you're encouraged to be there from 4:30 at Brandon's Beach. just off the Mighty Grinder Spring Garden Highway. The Mighty Grinder Highway, I think if I say it like that, you know what I'm talking about. And from 4:30, then you have an opportunity to engage with the District Emergency Organization, the Department of Emergency Management, and the Coastal Zone Management Unit to know more about how our coasts are being impacted by us and other climatic changes as well. So best of luck. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Thanks again.
You're welcome.
Person.
You're welcome. We'll take a break right here. When we come back, we're going to delve into this book, Girls Can Move Mountains, and a whole lot more. Stay with us.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you. Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
17 minutes now to go to the hour of 7 o'clock. It is said that sometimes life can throw us a lemon, and what do? It was by mere chance that on a dark night, this lady's life was changed forever. Her name is Dr. Solange Vivens. She's written the book, Girls Can Move Mountains. She's rewriting the rules of female entrepreneurship. Dr. Vivens, good morning to you.
Good morning, Pearson, and good morning, Barbados.
It is good to see you again. Promise me you're going to behave yourself with me this morning.
I'm going to try. You know I can't.
We had an encounter before. It was quite fun and motivating indeed. But here we are. Yours is such a fascinating story. A young girl from Haiti who on one dark night, actually you can tell the story. It's your story to tell. Tell me about that moment that changed your life.
Well, this happened before I was born. My mom was pregnant and my dad worked the night shift. He was a chauffeur, like they say in Haiti, he drove a truck. And in the dark night, he was driving, and he saw this woman trying to change a tire. She had no idea what she was doing. So my dad almost hit her. He made a U-turn, went back, changed the tire, and sent the lady home. She was determined that she was going to find my dad. Now, you know, Barbados, it's like Haiti. There's no house number, and everyone has a nickname. So she managed to find my dad, and from that encounter, that gesture of kindness, as I call it, developed a relationship. It turned out she was a white Haitian woman. Her dad was the senator for Haiti, and she forced her dad to hire my father as his chauffeur. And that takes my parents from poverty to middle class. So when I was born, she told my mother she was dying to become a godmother, and she became my godmother. And that was my blessing. I believe that encounter was my blessing, because My parents have 13 children, and I am the fortunate one, if you will.
Yes, and that fortune took you to the United States, and from there you pursued nursing, you entered into healthcare, and now you're not only just an author, you're also a media mogul. You're so many things to so many people. When you stop for just a moment and you reflect on your path thus far, what do you think are some of the lessons you've learned that you think that girls can learn from?
One thing that I learned is that your beginning does not have to define your end. Because if you look at my beginning, when I came to America, I started working in factories in Manhattan. Now we're talking the 60s. I was making skirts, and they paid me a nickel per skirt. Then I moved to another factory sewing zippers on suitcases, and I got a quarter. I got a raise from a nickel to a quarter. From there, I went to work for some white people, and I was a nanny for this. That meant that I was caring for the little kids. That was my beginning. And then from there, I became the person in Washington, D.C. to own a healthcare business in long-term care. I had about 800 employees, and I became the only Black person ever elected vice president for the American Healthcare Association.
Fantastic.
So I took it from the bottom of the valley all the way to the top.
So your lesson is that your beginning does not define your future, your ending at all. So with every situation with which you're faced, you can make something good out of it, accept it for what it is, and build on it. But along the way, you would have been also garnering not just friends, but revenue, some earnings to be able to invest into what you've started to do in creating opportunities for healthcare. How difficult was it for you to be able to set aside, because I mean, a nickel, that sounds a little, but for you it might have been a lot. But to be able to set aside enough to be able to pull yourself up by your bootstraps, to be able to provide services to others?
Well, what I tell young people, the idea is to focus. Know what it is that you want. And when I talk to women, I said, know your destination, know your address. If you know where you are going, there are tons of people out there that can help you to get to where you're going. I formed a management company to 2 white millionaires. And I ended up buying both of them out of the company, and I took 100% of the share of the company.
Wow.
So you can do it. You just have to know where you're going. I did not get pregnant. I did not take drugs. I did not steal. I did not go to jail. I was focused. I went to school, and I went to good school. I went to great school. I went to Long Island University. I went to Georgetown University. And all of that on my own, I paid to put me to school. And when I talk to women, I tell them, look in the mirror and focus on that reflection. In the mirror, it's you that you're looking at. Talk to you and do what you believe is best for you. There are so many crabs that will pull you down. So many crabs. So in every negative, there is a hair of positive. Find it, capitalize on it, and make it work for you. Success, I define, that's my definition, is preparation plus opportunity plus luck. Plus luck. There's a little bit of luck in what we do. You can be well prepared, but you never get the opportunity. You can have the opportunity, but you will not prepared. So that little bit of luck, to connect those 3 things together, is the definition of success.
And success is yours indeed. But along the way, and I immediately turned to chapter 6, because along the way, you met the man of your life. And he happens to be Barbadian. You're laughing, you laugh. Talk to me about that chance encounter, because you were invited out, you were tired, you didn't want to go out, you'd finished your late night shift, yet your friend insisted that you do go to this party. And it happened to be a thing that changed your life. Talk to me about it.
Again, kindness. Kindness is so important. my head nurse, I was a nurse, my head nurse, Lucille, wanted to go to this party because there was a guy there and she wanted to go, but she didn't want to go by herself. She forced me. I worked until 11 o'clock, 3 to 11, the evening shift. I got dressed at the hospital. Once I get home, I changed. Then I went to the party with Lucille against my will. And the one best person that Barbados ever produced happened to be at that party. And he was at the party not because he wanted to, because he was a cover for his friend who was married but was dating the girl who was giving the party. Now go figure. So he was forced to be there. I was forced to be there. And then we met at this party and we ended up being married, have a son, and lived together for 30 years until he died.
Oh, that's beautiful. Because along the way, too, having left the party, you went for your driver's license. And as yes, I've seen the chapter. And as fate would
really read the book, didn't you?
I told you I would. And as fate would have it, there he was. And so you got your license and you've lived happily ever after. But to connect him now to Barbados, because a lot of people are saying, okay, but who is she and who is this Barbadian man? Tell us a little bit about Keith, the love of your life.
The love of my life. Keith Llewellyn Archer was, of course, a Bajan. He was a legend for Barbados, the captain of St. Matthias basketball team. And I have clips of newspaper that his mom sent. One came to the house and he says, 20 years ago, the Keith Archer. And then there was a list of all the guys that played basketball with him and how many points they scored in the basketball game. But the story that really got me is that I came to Barbados with Keith and we were walking Spring Garden. And there was this young person, not that young because he played basketball with Keith, and this person came and was bending down to kiss his feet at Spring Garden. And he said, come on, man, get up. And the guy was, Rookie, oh my God, Rookie, Rookie. And this is when I realized how powerful he was when he was 21, 18, 20. He played basketball and he was the captain of the Lakers. When Keith died, there is a gentleman named Cumberbatch that organized something for Keith in Barbados. And I had to fly in to receive a plaque, posthumous, for my husband. Wow. And I think I was in CBC. I think I was in CBC.
You know, I love the way you tell the story of your husband because it's such a warm relationship you had that even in death, you still continue to honor him in the way that you do. What do you say to your son about his father?
Actually, you know, I'm still in love with my husband. He was the greatest person on earth. My husband, before I tell you what I tell my son, my husband, when he met me, he said, you have a lot of potentials. And I'm going to make sure that you meet all your potentials. And he did. If I have a book report to do, my husband will read the book. And then he will read what I wrote and correct what I wrote. Because he said, you write just like you speak. So he would, because he was British, he knew English and I'm French. So he would correct my papers. That's how deep he was in my life.
Wow.
And it turned out that my son looks like me, but is exactly like his father, a beautiful baby. And then he gave birth to a son named Keith Llewellyn Archer II, who is 6'4" already, and the exact body of my husband. Skinny, tall, and a very loving human being. Yes. So that's why I love my husband, because my grandchildren and my son have exactly the same personality as Keith Llewellyn Archer, my baby.
Indeed. But let's get back to the book. Now, the book is that Girls Can Move Mountains. It's written for the females, and you're going to be having the launch this weekend coming, you know, and I really want folks to get to know you, to get to know the book, to understand, because as we turn the chapters, every chapter ends with rules and some to-dos. And that's why it makes it such an easy book to read, because it's written as a story, but it's your story that inspires. And so as people turn the pages, you receive inspiration. But at the end of every chapter, you are reminded and reinforced on every chapter that you've read. And so at the end of it all, you've had quite an experience where you rewrite the rules of entrepreneurship for females. So this book, you believe then, is a real true guide, a roadmap to success for females, the girls that exist today?
Mm-hmm. Let me show you how deep the book is. I was doing a podcast, and a young woman in the chat wrote, "Can you please help me find my voice?" And that thing moved me so much that we found her. She lives in Boston, and I have been communicating with her. Every month we talk, and I'm guiding her through life. She's a young woman, 24 years old, and I don't know her. I have never met her, but now we're best friends by telephone, by text, by email, and I'm helping her, and she keeps me posted as to what she's doing. The book walks you through my life with rules to live by in the beginning of each chapter. And at the end of the chapter, it gives you reflection on what you have just read. In the foreword of the book, I ask people, and when I'm going to talk about Girls Can Move Mountain, the girl thing, I ask people, when you read a chapter, put me outside of that chapter and put yourself in that chapter. You become me at that moment, because each of us, we write our history every day. So whatever we do, we write our history. As we do it, we're writing our history. So you want the history you want people to read is the history that you live, because we live life prospectively, but we understand life retrospectively. Very important.
Yes, indeed. And so the launch is this coming Sunday at the Sandals Barbados, Sandals Royal Barbados. And what time is the launch?
Well, I'm going to tell you that the launch is from 5 to 8. I made reservation at Sandals. I gave them a number of people that I would have. I had no idea that, people had to email me to register so that I know how many people, because Sandal told me I have to let them know how many people. Well, if I tell you I sold out, you will not believe it. But I cannot understand it. Just people by word of mouth alone. I'm in Barbados. People want to come. So very limited space. And I am on the island until August 10th. I would love to have another group. The Nation has an article coming out Sunday. And hopefully the woman at the Nation told me that she will work to see if she can put another group together for me. But space is limited, so I don't want to open it and tell the world to come, because Sandals will really not happy with me.
So you can RSVP Solange, Solanges. She corrected me. I thought I could spell it correctly before. Solange, Solanges, at vivensmedia.com. VIVENS media.com. That's the email address to which you should send if you wish to be there as a part of the launch. And if you wish to know more too about how you can have a copy of this. By the way, would it be available here on the island in all bookstores?
I would love for that to happen. Any bookstore who wants to call me, email me, I would love to work with them. And I came in with maybe 100 books, and some of them are already gone. My neighbor next door already listened to the book on audiobook. It's also on audiobook.
Yes. So the information is right on your screen, ladies and gentlemen. That's the email. Solange at vivensmedia.com is where you should send your email. If you're already a bookstore owner, or you are someone who makes books available, send your email there. She'll be happy to get a copy to you as well, because Girls Can Move Mountains is only one of a number of books she's already written. But the book ends and one of the second to last page, it says, this little Haitian girl has made it from rags to riches. I've grown in my faith and in my relationship to God. I remain close and supportive in my relationships with a family that has grown from my parents and 13 children to over 30 nieces and nephews and over 20 grandnieces and grandnephews. Large family indeed, but she loves her family, she loves herself, she loves you. And so because she loves you, she's put it all into this book. And so this book is available now. The launch is on Sunday. I can't wait to hear more about your next venture. Solange Vivens, Dr. Solange Vivens, as always good talking to you, seeing you face to face, teasing each other. But I wish you only the very best indeed. I can't wait to see you again.
Thank you very much, Pearson.
You're very welcome indeed. Dr. Solange Vivens, the author of the book Girls Can Move Mountains, Rewriting the Rules of Female Entrepreneurship. We'll take a break right here. We're coming back in just a moment.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you. Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
It's 2 minutes after 7 o'clock. Let's get an update on the news now. Once again, here's Wendy Burke.
Yes, good morning to you, Pearson, and to our viewers. Prime Minister Mia Motley has announced a suite of measures to take effect shortly to ease the cost of living for all, at least for the next 6 months. Speaking in the nationally televised address last evening, Ms. Motley noted the Minister in the Ministry of Finance and Economic Affairs, Ryan Strawn, will deliver a ministerial statement on the initiative on Tuesday from the floor of Parliament. At the top of the list is the value-added tax on electricity bills.
The reality is that the government has determined now that every Barbadian household should have the first 250 kilowatt hours removed from their from a VAT rate of 17.5% to a new VAT rate of 7.5%. This is going to represent on average a savings of about $17 to every Barbadian household, regardless of whether you use 250 kilowatt hours or not.
Meanwhile, Dr. Kevin Greenidge, who was a guest on CBC Morning Report, said the measures would cost government between 15 to 20 million in revenue as a result of the VAT removal, but this was focused economic policy. The senior advisor to the Prime Minister and Government of Barbados said it is targeted in such a way that the limited fiscal resources available are being used to impact the widest possible number of people, particularly the vulnerable and low income. Dr. Greenidge added that it's not a situation of zero fiscal space, but limited fiscal space, and would not break the bank. The Prime Minister also announced a $2.5 million school feeding program. Thousands of school-aged children are expected to benefit from the measure.
We therefore intend to ensure that every child of school age in this country will be given an opportunity between the 25th of July and the 2nd of September to continue to benefit from school meals in Barbados. We believe that this is a critical component in ensuring that our school children can have nutritious meals while at the same time relieving the burden from off of our children, from off of the families, from being able to move in a position where they do not have to buy additional groceries to ensure that their children can be fed during this period of time.
The Department of Emergency Management is doing more for special needs stakeholders across the island. These include concerns for vulnerable populations like the disabled and deaf community. Acting Deputy Director Daniel Skeet says training in basic sign language has been provided to members of the police and fire service along with the district emergency volunteers. Brochures with large print geared towards the elderly and those with sight challenges have also been produced. Ms. Skeet says by law, the DEM, in conjunction with other agencies and ministries, are required to identify, prepare and maintain a national database of persons particularly vulnerable to the consequences of natural hazard impact. She was on a panel for a webinar on safeguarding at-risk populations. Protesters are back on the streets in Haiti after this week's murders from gang violence. The violence comes as the country continues to have economic issues.
Haiti is sliding deeper into chaos. Protesters have taken to the streets after dozens of people were killed in a week of gang violence. Insecurity and unrest, adding to a spiraling economy that has never completely recovered from a devastating earthquake in 2010.
Our situation is critical because we are facing misery and hunger. Our children can no longer go to school. The government is useless. We demand its departure. It has to go.
Protesters blame the government for the fuel crisis.
Every time they want to raise fuel prices, they claim there's a shortage. It's not true. There is stock. There's no need to cause people such pain. If they are determined to increase prices, we will set the country on fire.
Criminal gangs run the streets with impunity, police too weak to stop them. But this week, anger and a loss of public trust outweighed the fears of kidnapping, robbery, injury, and death.
Everyone must come together to revolt. Children can't walk on the streets of Port-au-Prince. We're tired. We can't live like this anymore. Let's rise up.
It's difficult. There's no way to live. There are bullets flying everywhere. Inside the house we aren't safe and we can't go outside.
Aid groups are struggling to provide medical care to victims of stray bullets and knife attacks, the hallmarks of gang violence. But fighting hunger is perhaps their biggest challenge.
Haiti has 1.3 million people in emergency, so just before famine. So you've got more than 1 million people that need urgent assistance. And if we're not able to deliver urgent assistance, there is a very great risk for that group. So we're very worried about that group.
And former Minister of Finance in Britain, Rishi Sunak, has cemented his lead over rivals to become the next Prime Minister after the second round of voting in an increasingly bitter race to replace Boris Johnson.
After Thursday's voting, the top three candidates are the same and in the same order. So out in front is Rishi Sunak, the previous Chancellor, who of course resigned from cabinet just last week. And in second place is Penny Mordaunt, who's been gaining momentum in recent days. She's recently been a trade minister. She's been tweeting out her thanks and also what she said was a quote from a Red Wall focus group, people in previous Labour voting areas saying apparently that they'd found it came from the heart when they saw her speak compared to other candidates. She's actually come under fire from David Frost, the government's chief Brexit negotiator, claiming that he'd asked Boris Johnson to sideline her from Brexit talks with Brussels because of what he said was her incompetence. And then it's Liz Truss, former Foreign Secretary. She's a high-profile figure, but not quite so popular amongst the party membership. That could count. Now, we're expecting to see more voting take place up until next Wednesday, eliminating one candidate at a time until there are just two names remaining. Those will go forward to the party membership of fewer than 200,000 people, and they're expecting a result and hence a new Prime Minister to be announced by the first week of September.
And that's news. Do have a brilliant day and an excellent weekend.
Thank you, Wendy. You too. 10 minutes after 7, we're taking a break here. We're coming back in just a moment.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you. Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
12 minutes after 7 o'clock now. Now listen, some of the very best under-19 cricketers all gathered in South Africa for a cricket tournament, and there was a Barbados Select under-19 team there too. The coach of the team joins us now as we talk about their exploits and their successes as well. Good morning to you, Norman Puckering.
Good morning to you, Pearson, and good morning, Barbados, and thanks for having me on your show.
Oh, you are more than welcome. We love success, and we love to share success stories. Are you still in South Africa, by the way?
No, at this moment I am in England. The team returned on Wednesday.
All right, so talk to me about who was on the team and how did they play?
Well, I can start off by saying that the team equipped themselves tremendously well, especially in these challenging conditions that we had. We had some very cold weather, but they did well. We made it to the finals in the T20 competition. Unfortunately, we lost that final, but we played well in the 50 over. We won all of our games in the 50 over. On that, we had 3 on the 19 players. We had Rivaldo Clark, Giovanni Di Pisa, and Caroline Bowen-Tuckett from the West Indies team. Along with we have the Neymar Bolden, Shamario Di Pisa, and a lot of other younger guys involved in the tour.
Yeah, you just had to call the word Bowen, my brother. Caroline Bowen-Tuckett. Bowen, get it? Anyway, Norman, don't worry about it. Don't worry your head. Excellence indeed. So here was now a group of under-19 cricketers representing Barbados and the West Indies, because it's a combination of a group of talented under-19 cricketers. And you've won 4 straight matches. You just didn't win the T20 final. That's all right. But what did it mean for those young cricketers, the opportunities provided them to be there to compete with some of the very best in the world?
Well, it's tremendous experience that these young guys would have gained, playing in different conditions, different weather conditions. The support that we got in South Africa was enormous. The day from the presentation, from the time we turned up, it was all of these loud cheers and singing for the Barbados. I believe that they used the Barbados team as a marquee for the tournament.
Yes.
But it was amazing. But these fellas would come back to Barbados, tell their friends, their parents, what a tremendous time they had. I spoke to one youngster, the youngest guy on the tour, he's back in Barbados. And I spoke to his mom, and his mom said, he told her, I would like to return to South Africa tomorrow.
Wow.
That just tells you how good he enjoyed himself. And he's only 15 years old.
Mm-hmm. We talk about exposure of our young cricketers to other playing conditions as well. And being able to provide the opportunity, no doubt, was something that was a fillip, really, for them to be able to travel to South Africa to engage in competition with some of the very best teams in the world. What do you see to be some other opportunities that our young cricketers can be exposed to so that we can begin to upskill them really at what they're already quite good at?
Well, what I can say, this tournament in its inaugural year, it can be a hallmark for youngsters in Barbados, and maybe you never know some parts of the West Indies as well. I have already been given an invitation to return next year for this tournament, and that's a plus that every youngster in Barbados should be looking forward to next year.
And so these guys were easy to work with. They were very open to your coaching techniques and so forth. Who did they play against so that we can get a sense of the kinds of competition they're up against?
Well, the competition was divided into two zones. There were 10 teams. We played primarily against a lot of provincial players from South Africa. We played matches against an Indian team and a Namibian team as well. But African teams were very good.
So who would you say has been your most valuable player on the tour?
At the end of the tournament, I had some gear that I was going to bring to Barbados, and I had a ceremony present, and I gave out.
Yes.
Unanimously, the coaching party nominated as the player of our series. That was Shamario De Pizia. Everyone would know him as Brecky. He was the leading player for us. He scored 2 centuries, including a knock of 165. And he won our player of the series for Barbados. But we had other, Rivaldo Clark, we had Giovanni, even Carolyn Boyne took it himself. He scored a century.
Wow.
We had good performance coming in from Tremaine Dowers, who I thought was superb on this tour. But most of all, there's one guy that I have to mention. His name is Reniko, another 16-year-old. He turned 17 on the tour. We had a birthday celebration for him. He won the most improved player for us. And it was a blessing seeing him. And he was a darling to the South Africans because he exhibited tremendous pace in South Africa.
Wow.
He was absolutely top notch. You can't believe it, but he was good. I think the conditions in South Africa really suited him. He's about 6'4", 6'5".
Wow.
Strong, well built. He plays for the Pickwick Club, and he himself has a lovely future. But it was also good to see some of the youngsters get an opportunity to a little run out. So everyone enjoyed themselves and chipped in. So it was a good tour.
You know, we hear these wonderful stories, and then we always are left with the question, what next? How do we keep it running that even this team alone can stick together and develop as they go? What's the plan now coming out of this?
Well, these guys go back to their respective clubs and schools in Barbados. There's a lot of thoughts that they can carry back with them. I just advise them to practice hard. I'm always available for them. We've become like a family on this tour. Very knitted. The camaraderie between these guys are excellent. And I just hope that they continue to strive, put what they want to do in their lives forward. If it is going to be cricket, it should be cricket. Practice hard, work hard, and be prepared. Never know. They might be on this tour for next year as well, because this tour is going to go on next year.
Wonderful. You see, the future for West Indies cricket looks fantastic under the coaching guidance of Norman Puckering. Norman, thank you for joining us. Much success to the team. Relay our congratulations to as many of them as you possibly can, and keep doing well what you're already doing in support of cricket and these youngsters in cricket, the under-19 team. Thank you very much for joining us this morning.
Well, thank you. I can assure you that many of them are listening right now to this program as we speak.
Well done,
thank
gentlemen.
you for having me, sir.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Always a pleasure indeed to support cricket right here on Morning Barbados. So well done, team. Well done. Congratulations to you on your success. And keep doing well what you're already doing so very well as well. So, and also, let us know of your success. We love to share success stories here on Morning Barbados. We'll take a break right here. We're coming back to meet some junior monarchs and more. And I'll also unscramble some letters in just a moment.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you. Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
It is 21 minutes now after 7 o'clock. Time for us to have a little bit of fun on a Friday. Indeed, folks, you give me a call on 228-5562 or 228-5563 because it's your turn to unscramble the letters. So let's see what scrambled letters we have for you early o'clock and then what word you are to form when you unscramble these letters. Look at it very carefully. I think I could figure this out already quite easily. 228-5562 or 228-5563. We'll start with a very easy one, warm you up, and then we get cracking. 228-5562 or 228-5563. What word do you think we can form when we unscramble the letters on your screen that you see? 228-5562 or 228-5563. Call me now. If you get this wrong, good morning to you. Hello.
Hi, good morning.
Hey, how are you?
I'm fine.
Good. Okay. All right. What's your first name and where are you watching us from?
St. Andrew.
Lucy?
Yeah.
I don't know how you get through. I don't know how you get in here so fast. So how is it today, Lucy?
It's good.
All right. Good. You looking forward to the weekend?
Yeah.
Are you a crop over kind of girl?
No.
You don't do crop over at all? Or you just sit at home and watch?
Watch. I sit at home and watch.
All right. Fair enough. Fair enough. So what's the word you see on your screen?
Weekend.
That is not the word I'm looking at. What other words do you see on your screen? What other words do you see for real on your screen?
I know the word is BK, so I don't know what letters word
I asked you, but you haven't heard my question. My question is, what other words do you see on your screen?
What other words?
What other words do you see on your screen?
I don't see the other words. Oh, scramble this.
Sport. Thank you. See, there you go. I see unscramble this colon, unscramble this, call us. So there you go. But you're right. It is indeed weekend when you unscramble the letters. Thank you, Lucy.
You're welcome. Have a nice day.
All right, good.
Okay.
All right, take care. You gotta listen. You gotta listen. You never know where I'm going with my. You know, Judge Judy says it all the time. You never know where I'm going with my thinking, my questions. So 228-5562 or 63. Look at this one now. This one is going to take you a little while to figure out. Take your time, have a sip of tea or water, whatever you choose to do, and figure this one out. Unscramble these letters. It looks rather Greek. I don't know. You tell me. 228-5562 or 228-5563. What word do you think we can make when we unscramble the letters on your screen? 228-5562 or 228-5563. Just want to remind you, by the way, for those of you who are into sport, C-Sport, coming up on MCTV. Good morning to you. Hello.
Good morning, Mr. Pearson.
How are you doing today?
I'm good.
Oh, that's
I'm
wonderful
fine.
to hear. That's great. What's your first name and what parish are you watching from?
Elaine, and I'm calling from Christchurch.
Elaine of Christchurch. Elaine,
Yes, please.
have you had your breakfast already or are you
No, I'm
having
still in my
breakfast?
bed. I'm still in bed.
Elaine, get
I'm
up,
still in
man.
bed watching you.
You don't have anything to do. Get up, girl.
I'm watching you on Scrambled Word.
I understand. But Elaine, you could stand up, you could sit in a chair, you could be turning around in the kitchen.
No, I'm lying down. I literally lay down and watch.
All right, fair enough. Is this what you normally do? Do you get up out of bed after 8 o'clock generally?
Yeah. If I have to go to church, I'm not early.
Oh, if you're going to church, you get up a lot early.
Yeah.
Listen, you've lived your life, so you have every right to lie down in the bed as long as you want. I agree with you.
It's only me here, so I don't have any babies.
Elaine, girl, I'm looking forward to those days when I can lie down till Dikey and them come too. That's the truth. That's the truth. So what's your plan for the weekend, Elaine?
I have to go to that lunch that you were talking about the other day, and went to that on Sunday.
Which lunch?
You booked lunch.
Oh, you're going to that one?
Yeah, I'm going to that.
Fantastic. That's good to hear. Yeah. So you have a big plan on Sunday for the book launch, indeed.
That's right.
All right.
Church and then that.
What church do you go to?
Christ Church, I sing the choir there.
Oh, you do? What part do you sing?
I met you on Sunday night.
Yes. What part do you sing? Do you sing soprano or alto?
I'm soprano.
You're a soprano.
Soprano from 10 years old.
You sure?
That's right.
What's your favorite hymn? What's your favorite hymn, Elaine?
Oh, my hymns are favorite. They know most of them by heart.
That's all right. I met Elaine on Sunday because the Barclays Singers, we would have had our concert on Sunday.
I introduced myself as Cotterton College.
Yes, I remember. I remember seeing you indeed, Elaine.
Yeah.
All right. So, what's the answer to the words on the screen?
Pandemonium.
It's a Greek word I'm looking for. What do you see?
Word? Pandemonium.
I told you it's a Greek word, a word in Greek.
A Greek word?
Yeah.
Oh, this got to be Greek. Pandemonium.
That was a hint. That was a hint.
Pandemonium is Greek.
Elaine, I'm just teasing you. You're absolutely right. Pandemonium. It's what we see on screen.
No, you've got to trip me up.
Thank you so much, Elaine. Have a good day, okay?
Good time. You too.
All right. You're very welcome indeed. She came out to the concert on Sunday. We're so grateful to all of you who came on Sunday as well in support of the Barclays Singers. So now, new word on your screen, a new set of scrambled up, jumbled up words that you have to unscramble. So let's see if you can figure these ones out. There are two words, all scrambled up on your screen, but you call me on 228-5562 and 228-5563. You know how I do it. We have a little bit of a conversation, and then heaven knows where it goes right afterwards. 228-5562 or 228-5563. What words do you see on your screen? Unscramble the letters, and then you call me. This one got you good, nah? 228-5562 or 228-5563. Yes, don't be shy. You know these words. You know these words. And I'm saying that because I know the answer, yes. But you know them. I know that you know. 228-5562 or 228-5563. Your challenge is to unscramble those letters and let me know the words that you've got. So call me fast. For those of you who are using something else, listen. I've told you before, call our customer care desk at MCTV. We open at 8 o'clock. They're happy to take your call. And as I was saying to you before, by the way, our new arrangement with Verticast brings Premier League, all sorts of sports to you now. Launching on the 25th, call our MCTV department and see if we can sort you out. So let's take this call. Good morning to you. Hello.
Hello.
Hello, don't whisper. Good morning. How are you?
Pardon?
How are you?
Fine, thank you.
Oh, you're very welcome. What's your first name and what parish are you watching us from?
My name is Ashley.
Hello, Ashley. That's the first name of a niece of mine. Her name is Ashley as well. What parish are you watching us from?
St. John.
St. John. So do they call you Ash for short?
Yes.
I know, because we call Ashley Ash as well. So what school? Hey, today you're on vacation. Ashley?
Yes, sir.
Are you on vacation?
Yes, sir.
All right. What school do you go to, by the way?
My name is Ashley.
Ashley, don't listen to your television. Do not listen to your television. Listen to the telephone. It's a phone call we're on. All right?
Pardon?
Listen to your telephone.
Okay.
Only. Do not listen to your TV at all. So, what school do you go to, Ashley?
The Pioneer.
Oh, Bay Primary School, all right. And what class are you in?
In class 1.
Okay, so you're going into class 2 now in September. Well done. Did you think you did well in your exams?
Yes, sis.
So you already seen your report?
Pardon?
Did you see your report already?
No, please.
You haven't yet? All right, no problem. Ashley in St. John, what words do you see on your screen, Ashley?
Calabunga?
I love it, Ashley. Calabunga. No, girl, that's not it at all. But thank you so much for trying, okay? Have a good day, Ashley, and enjoy your vacation. Be safe as well. I love it. I do. It looks like that to her. It looks like that to me, too. But you give me a call, 228-5562 or 228-5563. What words do you think we can make when we unscramble these letters? Good morning. Hello. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good, and you?
Are you making the mistake of listening to your television? Or are you doing the right thing and simply listen to your telephone?
Yes, I put it on mute.
In
and
other
I'm
words,
ready to unscramble the word.
In other words, you were doing the wrong thing before.
Yes.
You see my finger wagging?
No. Forever. I
Forever?
know.
I'm good to see you. So what's your first name?
My name is Avril, and I'm visiting for the Barbados.
Avril, you're visiting for?
I'm just visiting family.
Oh, wonderful. Where are you visiting from?
New York.
Oh, you left all hot New York to come down to sunny Barbados, for real?
For the beach, the white sand, and the clear waters.
There you go. You can sell us well. Indeed. Do you get a chance to sell us in New York as well? When you're there talking to people, do you talk about Barbados?
Of course.
And what do you say, Avril?
Beautiful Barbados, the clear waters, the white sand, the lovely people. I like the I love the culture. I'm walking on the street and I hear good morning, good afternoon. I love it, Pearson. I love it.
That is so sweet. I love it too, quite frankly. I honestly do. So it's good to have you. What have you been up to since you've been here?
Visiting family. You know, I'm all about family.
That's nice. And how large is your family here?
Ooh,
quite large?
Quite large. I'm the last of 11 children. Quite large.
You are the last of all 11 of you are still alive?
Yes, please.
And are all 11 of you in one place at the moment?
No.
In Barbados?
No.
So where are the others?
So they're here, but not in one place.
Right,
and then we have,
yeah. So all 11 of you are in Barbados?
No, there's 6 of us. There's 6 in Barbados, and I'm visiting with my sister. So now there are 8 of us on the same island.
I could imagine the fun you guys must have when you come together. That must be so much fun.
Extremely. It is.
Listen,
it really is.
I know how it feels because I'm number 6 of 10. You understand what that means? Yes. Last time we just said yours. We have fun. It is bear sport when we come together. So Avril, I wouldn't detain you any longer. What words do you see on your screen?
Colonial building.
I'm pausing for you to correct yourself, Avril.
No. Unscramble this, colonial building.
You are just as we say, half crack as I am, indeed. Well done, Avril. It is indeed colonial building. I love it. Thank you so much. How long are you here until?
I'm leaving on the 18th of July.
Oh, what's today's date? Today is in a few days.
Yeah.
You're not gonna get many of the crop over activities in.
No, I'm not a crop over. I watch it. I don't.
Girl.
Yeah. No.
You're a spectator.
I am.
All right. Have you finished? Have you decided what you're taking back to New York? You know, people like to stock up on cheese, mobby, biscuits, all of those. Are you that kind of girl?
Yes, but my favorite thing is the luncheon meat.
What? You serious?
Yes. I know.
I'm really making me laugh. For real. Luncheon meat.
Yeah.
It's
Because the taste is so unique. The taste is so different to the New York luncheon meat.
Okay, fair enough. Avril, pleasure meeting you. Thank you so much for calling in and engaging with me this morning. Thank you for being such fun. Thank you.
Have a wonderful day. Bye.
And you as well, Avril. She got through. She's heading back to New York in just a few days indeed. All right, that's it for that moment, folks. In time, we shall take a break. We're coming back with more in just a bit on Morning Barbados.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you. Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Tomorrow evening, Saturday evening at 7 o'clock, the Wilde Gymnasium comes alive ready to the Junior Monarch Finals, the Scotiabank Junior Monarch Finals. And certainly all week long we've been telling you and sharing with you so you get to know who is going to be on stage. 2 crowns up for grabs, the Soca and the Calypso Monarchs for the Scotiabank Junior Monarch competition. Joining us right now is Reverend YSR Mosley and Malika Lika Goodrich. Good morning, both of you, Junior Monarchs.
Good morning.
Thank you so much for joining us. Reverend, let me start with you. YSR, you are entered into the Calypso category. First time ever?
Soca. No, I'm entered into the Soca category.
You're in the Soca category?
Yes,
all right. Is this the first time you've entered the Junior Monarch competition?
Yes, it is.
So what is it that prompted you to do so this year?
It just seemed very interesting to me and something exciting to do, so I just went for it.
Is soca something that you normally sing, or is this something you're now trying your hand at for the very first time?
Yeah, it's something I'm actually trying. I originally started writing like rap and hip hop and stuff.
Really?
But I went, I just went for it.
So why soca now?
It's first off, it's one of the prominent genres of music in the Caribbean, and also it just has a different vibe to it that something that rap doesn't have. So
yeah, there's a certain energy to soca that rap does not quite have. Your song is How You Feel. How You Feel. Did you write that as well?
Yes, I did.
Oh, you wrote the song, and who looked it over to say, you know, not a badly constructed song, we could work with this. Did you share it with anyone at all?
Well, I work with 10 Star Productions. so they had looked over it. But for the most part, I had wrote it myself.
Okay, fair enough. And
for all of it, I wrote it myself, yeah.
so who worked on the arrangements with you?
I believe that's Ryan Blackman.
All right. So you're ready for Saturday? Are you ready?
For sure.
All right. Then there is Malika. Lika, talk to me a little bit now about, because you're competing against him too, right?
Yes, please.
Aha. You ready? Are you ready, Lika?
I'm very ready.
What makes you so very ready?
I just know that I'm ready.
You just know you're ready. So what have you been doing to move you to a point of being confident that you are indeed ready? What preparations have you been making?
Been rehearsing over and just getting the pronunciation and everything right. The rhyming, everything.
You've been rehearsing where? Have you been rehearsing in the mirror, in the bathroom only?
Yes, and with other people too.
And with family and friends. And they're saying, Lika, girl, you ready? You know, this is really good. Try this, do that, move in this kind of way. You had a chance to also be mentored by TC and RPB. How was that experience?
That was really good. It was certain tips I got and I worked on with it. So that was really good. That was very good.
Tell me about your song. Your song is called Release. What was that song for you?
Time to Release is something about freedom, about breaking through with all the COVID and going out and party again, like from October.
That's right. It's the opportunity now to get away from all the protocols, the shutdowns, everything else, and just release all of your energy and have a really good time. That's what it's about. What school do you go to?
Darrell Jordan Secondary.
To Darrell Jordan. From my home parish in St. Lucie, indeed. So you're looking forward to Saturday night, and you think you're already all set. The dress is in order. The dance moves are in order. The voice, la 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 la, the voice is in order, right?
Yes, it is.
So no doubt, and of course you'll get enough rest because Saturday night is not going to be easy. You're also competing against this young man, YSR. Have you looked at some of the other people who are competing in the soca category, and are you really assessing them as you go?
Not really. I just focus on myself right now.
Good girl, good girl. Just on yourself. YSR, what about you? Have you two been looking at who else is in the competition and trying to strategize how you will compete against them?
I mean, not really in the sense like strategizing, but I have assessed them in a way.
You've assessed?
Yeah.
and go ahead.
How they are.
So having assessed them, who do you think will probably give you the greatest competition in the soca category?
All of them are amazing, to be honest. But they say that Trinity Clark is probably up there. I can't quite remember her name.
That's all right. But there are at least two girls who are causing you a little bit of concern, right? And you're thinking, I've got to do better. I've got to do better. Your song, How You Feel. Go ahead.
Everyone's really good, so.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. Working with TC and RPB, what kinds of advice did they give to you in preparation for Saturday's final?
They just, I have to really express my song and express the message that my song is giving.
So how do you do that? How do you do that? Express your song. What does it mean for you now to do?
That's every aspect of the performance, the facial expressions, the gestures, everything.
So have you been practicing a lot in the mirror and before friends and family, getting their opinion about your performance?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, what are they saying to you, your friends and family? You ready?
Yeah, they like it. Just the other day, I performed in front of my school, and they sure loved it. So,
what school is
hoping
this?
that
What school is this?
Harrison College.
Harrison College. So you're inviting all of the collegians to come out on Saturday night, tomorrow night, to really support you, to lend your support. Are you scared? Because we had some other junior monarchs who said, oh, I'm afraid of seeing a lot of people. Do you have that same feeling?
Not really. On the night, I may be nervous, but I'm not really scared about the amount of people that's gonna be there.
Yeah, you just look over their heads. Look over their heads. Don't look at their faces. Look straight over their heads, and you're good to go. They will feel that you're looking at them, but all the while you're just looking well past them, my brother. That's how you do it. And so then you don't see them at all, but they know, you know they're there to support you. So here we are now. We're just moments away from it. I hope you sleep well, you get enough rest, you drink enough water, and that you are ready for Saturday night. It starts at 7 o'clock, so be there early and be ready. Your costume, no doubt, is ready, right? You too, Lika?
Yes, please.
All pressed and everything to hit the road and come up to the gymnasium. We're going to be there too. We can't wait to see you both perform. We want to give you our fullest support because we're looking forward to see who is going to carry away the Soca Monarch in the Scotiabank Junior Monarch competition indeed. I wish you the very best in all of your endeavors on Saturday night. And as they say in theater, go break a leg. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Two of those competing in Saturday night's Junior Monarch competition. Remember, it's at the Wilde Gymnasium. The show starts at 7 o'clock. Get to the box offices today. It's going to be quite a ding-dong battle. 2 crowns up for grab, Calypso and Soca Monarchs in the Scotiabank Junior Monarch competition. A break right here. When we come back, we'll meet that one that they were fearing, Trinity Clark, in just a moment.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you. Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
After 2 years without a new crown, there will be 2 monarchs this time around. It's the Scotiabank Junior Monarch competition, Saturday, July 16th at the Garfield Sobers Gymnasium. Come see the best of the best as the juniors put their kaiso and soca skills to the test. Adults $20 and children just $10. So come support and bring along a friend. The Scotiabank Junior Monarch, Saturday, July 16th at the Wilde Gym. Tickets available at NTF West Terrace St James, CS Pharmacy Broad Street, A&B Music Wilde, Empowered at Sky Mall, iShop Sheraton Mall, Saul Warrens, Sports and Games Speedbird House Independent Square, Pawnbrokers International Blackrock, and www.ticketlinks.com.
11 minutes now to 8 o'clock. We are hours away from the Junior Monarch competition. Trinity Clark is also one of those who will be competing in the soca category. She joins us now. Trinity, good morning to you.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm well, thank you for asking. How are you?
I'm great. A
Listen,
little stressed, but I'm great.
What are you so stressed about?
just the preparation for the entire Junior Monarch. This is the
Yes.
busiest I've ever been in all of my competitions, so I've just been going, but I'm still excited.
So what are you so busy doing?
Well, doing a lot of rehearsals, dance rehearsals, making sure I have all of my choreography correct and on point, working on my breathing, working on my singing, because at the end of the day, I'm still a singer, and I would have attended workshops, so, just taking the advice and working to suit however best I can.
Did you hear what the previous interviewees said about you?
Yeah.
So, well, having heard all of that, knowing that they're looking at you and you scare them already, does that blow your head or does it make you feel confident?
I won't really say I scared them, I don't know why, but it makes me feel good about myself because it makes me feel like I'm impacting someone, hopefully not in a negative way, but in a positive way, so that they have something to follow. And yeah, but I don't think I should be someone to fear per se. I just do what I do and enjoy doing it.
Yes, and you show it all well. And I mean, you're no stranger to competition. You understand this. You understand performance. You understand stage. But we never thought we would see you in the Calypso competition, the soca competition as well. So this is shocking. So talk to us about your decision to enter this year.
You said one amazing thing. I never saw myself in this arena yet, but I realized that the love for continuous music of soca and that development, it continued to grow on me. So I was like, what if I wanted to join Junior Monarch? And I spoke to my mom, and then she would go back to her days of when she was in Crossfire and when she was on these big stages and so on. So I would learn from that. And then I did all of this strenuous and rigorous training with my mother, which paid off. And eventually I was like, okay, I want to join soca. And it was a little bit out of my comfort zone because I'm used to singing ballads and maybe a little reggae or upbeat, but not soca. So it demanded me having to dance, having to keep timing and rhythm and breathing, being able to jump and not hearing that I am jumping.
Yes.
So all of that.
What about phrasing though? Because to phrase for soca is totally different to phrase for ballads. So how did you attack that so that you're ready to sing soca?
Well, I would have learned from Nikita and Destra, so just knowing what they would sing, or I would thinking, so what would they sing, how would they sing, and how would they do it differently. So I learned how to phrase soca, and because it's not that difficult to phrase, because it's not like I am not Bajan,
right.
I understood it quickly, so I was able to phrase it.
This song that you're singing is called Vibes.
Yes.
What's that song about?
Well, first of all, I wrote that song.
Oh, really?
And yes, I did.
So tell me about it.
And this song is about, just enjoying yourself. And it's also telling a story about me stepping into this new genre of music. And it is about just being free. It's about a lot of energy, a lot of synergy, excitement, festivity, representing our festival, crop over, the excitement. And it has a lot of energy attached to it and vibes. It is a vibes song.
Well, is this your first writing? Because I didn't know that you also wrote.
This is not my first time writing.
You're keeping secrets from me. So this is not your first writing, your first penning of a song, but it is one that for the first time you've written actually in soca. You've written for soca. It's called Vibes. And no doubt there's, as you said...
V-Y-B-Z-Z and not V-I-B-E-Z.
Yeah, the double Z. So it has no doubt a lot of energy to it. Is it more like the faster soca or is it more like the sweet soca?
It's a sweet soca song.
It's a sweet soca song. Rehearsal for it, are you ready for this performance on Saturday night though?
Definitely. I feel really confident about it because I put in a lot of work and I was very determined to make my mark in this categories. And then my mom was asking me if I'm sure that I want to do this, and I was like, yes, I'm sure I want to do this.
No doubt you have the support of many Barbadians. Those in the gospel arena are probably also going to come out in numbers and say, we got to support Trinity, we got to support our girl. And from your school as well, from both of your schools, the St. Michael's School and the Alexandra School, no doubt they're also going to be there as well. And many thousands of Barbadians who know your talent, but knowing what you are already capable of. You know,
and I must say that the band is really good. The band is excellent.
Yeah. The NCF always puts together a fantastic band. But knowing that people are going to assess you based upon your past performances, does that in any way scare you?
Not really, because, you know, that shows that they know what I'm capable of. So, which means that I need to put in more work. And I also need to make sure that I have everything in order. So yes, that's definitely what I'm looking forward to. That's how good I've been working so far.
High expectations of you, Trinity. High expectations. Have you looked at the other competitors and have you also, they've assessed you. Have you been able to assess them to get a sense of who you think might be your strictest competition?
Not really. I just encourage everybody, to be quite honest. But I do focus on myself because, you know, this is new to me. So I need to make sure that I get everything in order, and that plus my mother assesses them for me so that, you know, I could learn from them, and, you know, I could encourage them as well, and I get encouragement from them so that, you know, everybody feels unified and nobody feels left out. And I really think that this should be a CD or something, or an album, because all of these songs sound really good. The more you listen to them, they grow on you. So you know them.
Now, because you've said that, there's every reason for everybody to come on Saturday night, tomorrow night, to be part of the Scotiabank Junior Monarch competition. As Trinity, oh, Pearson, stop it. As Trinity just said to you, you know, every song just sounds really amazing, and so you cannot miss it tomorrow evening at the Wilde Gymnasium. You've also, too, had that chance to interact with TC and RPB. These are two veterans in the game. What did they say to you about your performance?
Well, I would have gotten a lot of advice from them, and TC would have said that, you know, you need to practice, and you need to rehearse, because with every word that you sing in soca or calypso, that word, you need to act on that word. You need to perform that word. So if you say jump, jump. If you are feeling angry, you need to show anger on your face. If you're happy and really excited, you need to show that you're happy and really excited. And then the Honorable Rep Plastic Bag, he said that there's going to be a winner, and then there are going to be winners, because a placement in a competition does not define your placement in life overall, which gives everyone encouragement, because if you do not win first, second, or third, you're still a winner, because you got to the finals and you can excel and you can succeed. So I really took that advice to heart, and I used it. I jump whenever I say jump. I party whenever I say party. I vibe whenever I say vibe. I try.
We can't wait to see you tomorrow night, Trinity. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. Best of luck as you go into this competition indeed. And may you too be the Soca Monarch at the end of the night. Thank you for joining us this morning.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Contestants in the Scotiabank Junior Monarch competition tomorrow evening, the Wilde Gymnasium, 7 o'clock, live coverage on Q100.7 FM for sure. So don't miss that opportunity to hear them as they perform. We bring it to you live. Now, let's share with you, before we go quickly, a few things we want to remind you of. I can't wait but to remind you that don't forget this evening, today, Friday, and tomorrow, Saturday, you have the dance performances. It's a fundraiser at the Combermere School Hall. Go out quickly and get your tickets. And still, I Rise, we told you about that. You're lending support to these amazing dancers. The Climb is also on Sunday, the 17th at the Hilton Barbados, beginning at 4:30. I hope you already have your ticket, ticketlinks.com, or you can go to Design Central Studio in town to get a ticket. Amazing stories to help entrepreneurs climb to success. You don't give up, as we just told you about the Junior Monarch competition that's on tomorrow evening at the Wilde Gymnasium. Many of them, those faces you will see on the stage tomorrow in competition for the Soca Monarch or the Calypso Monarch. And then there's this, Sunday evening as well. Girls Can Move Mountains by Dr. Solange Vivens at the Sandals Barbados Club. But you need to email her, solange@vivensmedia.com. That is it for today, everybody. Thank you so much. And the week, thank you so much for joining us. My producer has been Nadia Foster, technical director Anderson Nurse, production assistant Rowell Ford, sound engineer Michael Sobers, at Master Control today has been Doreen Bignell. I'm Pearson Boyne. For the crew, to all of you, have a great today, wonderful weekend. If it be God's will, we'll see you on Monday. Bye-bye.
Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Barbados, get up. Good morning.